Simultaneously, shocks coming out. This is a very, very rare thing to see shocks change during the running of a race.
Well, and like Darrell said, what makes it even rare, his car was actually running pretty good. We just had talked about it before he came to pit road on that unscheduled green flag stop.
They're going to try to get Blaney back out there as Terry Labonte moves past Mark Martin for 7th. Just ahead of this bunch is Greg Biffle, who's got to be one of the tireder drivers here, one of 4 who ran the Busch race last night in Nashville, should I say last night and early this morning, and then flew here and got little, if any, sleep. Steve?
Yeah, Mike, as DW has said, Biffle got here well after 4 o'clock in the morning, so we checked on his sleep. He was able to get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, waking up about 11 o'clock this morning. Hey, on their last stop, they took a spring rubber out of the right rear spring.
I tell you, if there's one guy that can do that, pull double duty and be up all night and still come out here and run like he is right now, it is Greg Biffle. He is a tough kid.
And he's one of the few of those guys that went over and actually qualified his car in Nashville on Friday evening.
Brendan Gaughan oils it down, and the caution is out. 3rd caution of the day, and it comes on lap 60 for the Kodak Dodge.
And Mike, I think the benefactor of that caution right there will be a car, and I'm sure that group is glad to see it. Ben Leslie, Ricky Rudd in the 21 car, remember, had to come back to pit road under green for a missing lug nut. He'll get the free pass.
Boy, Brendan's had some tough luck this season. He's been fast. He's the most enthusiastic, exuberant guy in the garage, and it just seems like they've had more than their share of tough times like this.
Yeah, well, they just need to work on what's broken, and that's not him, that's the car. So if he keeps his good attitude and keeps his spirits up, they'll get him turned around.
Here's what happened to put us under the 3rd caution of the day. And NASCAR updates us that Ward Burton had just been passed by Jimmy Johnson to go a lap down, so he will be the free pass car.
It's a rather catastrophic blow up.
But DW, that's a sight that we very well will probably see a lot, especially in the later stages of the race. We talked about it, these guys turning these engines 95, 9600. Unlike other ovals where it's twice a lap, it's 3 times a lap here with the 3 straightaways.
And some of these drivers shifting as many as 6 times a lap.
Let me tell you something that happens to you. You get to racing people, sometimes you forget to shift. Dadgummit. And you reach up there as a driver, you reset that tach. 10,000. Oh, better set that back.
Yeah, right.
Did you overreact? Oh, no, I'm fine.
So Brendan Gaughan will join Kirk Shelmerdine, Carl Long, Todd Bodine, and Kevin LePage in the garage.
I do anticipate when pit road is open with about 9 laps since that last pit stop, I do think especially the back half of the guys will come to pit road, because remember, 9 laps, that's up there 4th to a 3rd of a fuel run.
Oh yeah, you got to come in and get fuel if you don't do anything else. You can't gamble on sitting out there and other people get fuel and you don't.
But I think based on what Sterling Marlin did on 2 tires, I think we may see some guys try just those 2 right side tires now.
Pit road's open. Any takers? Several.
I know I'd come down and get me some fuel if I was up there.
Terry Labonte, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett come in. Tony Stewart, Robbie Gordon, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Elliott Sadler, Harvick, Jeff Burton, Earnhardt, Labonte, and more. Dick?
Dale Jarrett is pitting because the car had gotten tight. They really wanted to stay out, did not want to pit, but they are afraid the car is so tight that they are going to begin to lose position. Mark Martin already out. Jarrett going to take 4 tires on this stop. That'll be the principal adjustment to try to fix what's wrong with it. His stop is done.
Stewart and Martin lead the parade down pit road. Terry Labonte actually got off first. Now, the first 6 cars did not stop. Jimmy Johnson, Brian Vickers, Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Jeremy Mayfield, Greg Biffle did not stop.
That, in my opinion, will come back to bite them.
And it definitely looked like Mark Martin and that group, Pat Tryson, changed just 2 right side tires.
There's the race off pit road. Terry Labonte.
See it right there.
I know the 6 and the 17, they only took fuel.
So the plot thickens with lots of different strategies in play here at lap number 60. You're watching NASCAR on Fox, presented by Subway.
afternoon. Jimmie Johnson, your leader, 62 laps in at the Pocono 500 at Fox, presented by Subway from the Hollywood Hotel. Of course, Pocono, one of those racetracks that at least has begun to install the safer barriers, at least in turn 1.
Yeah, you definitely, when you're going down in this turn 1 at over 200 miles an hour, you want all the help you can get. And those safer barriers definitely give these drivers a little bit better feelings. Because if you ever miss a gear or the brakes go out like we saw with Kenny Schrader a year ago, you want those kind of safety things in place, along with, and I think the most important thing these guys are wearing today is a head and neck restraint.
Yes, and Dr. Dirt, all right, Dick Bergman on the case with this WebMD report.
The Hans device is the most important safety invention to come along since the development of the fuel cell. This is the exact Hans device that Jeremy Mayfield is wearing today. Show us how it fits, Jeremy. It goes right over his shoulders, like that, and the tethers hooked to his helmet. Let's see how it works in the car. The shoulder harness holds Jeremy's torso in place, and under the shoulder harness is the head and neck support system. Without that system, when Jeremy hits something in the forward direction, his head would be free to roll forward, causing a potentially devastating injury. But because his helmet is tethered to the head and neck support system, it's solid. His head doesn't move, and that's the safety advantage of the Hans.
And for information about keeping your family safe and healthy, as well as a chance to win tickets to races next season in Daytona or here in Pocono, visit drive.webmd.com.
And Chris, as you take a look at these photographs, you get a chance to see these drivers sitting down inside what I call their cocoon, as far as the way their seats wrap around their heads, the different head restraints they've got beside them, as well as a head and neck restraint. They've done a lot more as far as technology is concerned to make these drivers safer inside these race cars.
All right, so far 7 leaders, 10 lead changes, but Jimmie Johnson, who was so dominant in the Coca-Cola 600 a couple of weeks ago, has been dominating so far here. We have a long way to go, though, in Pocono. So stick around.
Invite you to enter the Gillette Young Guns Challenge. Each week, a lucky fan wins $5,000. Go to GilletteYoungGuns.com for details. We're still under caution from Brendan Gaughan's oil down. We've just gotten 1 to go. A total of 11 cars stayed out, and then one of those pitted. Sterling Marlin. Here's Matt.
Mike, Sterling felt like something might be wrong with his right front tire. Jeremy Mayfield pulled up alongside, said it is going down. The crew took it off. They found about a 3/4 inch cut on that right front tire.
All right, the other cars who stayed out were Ryan Newman, Michael Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, Scott Wimmer, and Casey Mears. So 10 cars are still on the racetrack without stopping on this caution. Well, make that 9. Casey Mears just came in.
But you know, Mike, at this racetrack, fuel wins races at this racetrack, not track position. I think you got to give up track position here more than anywhere else to get fuel.
And excuse me, that was Casey Kane who pitted, not Casey Mears. So 10 cars did not pit.
Now he's the one who's going to LA, right?
Ask Hammond. All right, first is Jimmie Johnson. Second, his teammate Brian Vickers. We listened in on Vickers talking about strategy, racing against his teammates. He's got one in front of him, one right behind.
I mean, I'm not trying to get on him and get him loose or anything. We're just faster than he is right now. So we'll just play it by ear when we go back green. If we get to him, if he can let us by, that'd be great. But we'll just see what happens. I hate to make deals like that before we go back green.
A rookie has never won here. Maybe until today.
But that shows a lot of respect for his teammate, Jimmie Johnson. You know, they're not wanting to get up there and mess with each other just 65 laps in this race. But, yeah, Mike, you mentioned Casey Kane, also Kenny Schrader, Jamie McMurray, those guys who were at the tail end of the lead lap cars, like Darrell says, 2.5 miles. You don't even get 2 laps here out of a gallon of fuel. Come in there and make sure that thing's topped off full of fuel before we go back racing.
Just to give you a weather update, the ceiling, the low ceiling is lifting. It's getting lighter and brighter. And I don't believe we're at quite the amount of risk of those thunderstorms coming in as we were. They seem to have moved off to the south. So hopefully we're okay to go the distance.
The vortex has kicked in.
Green flag.
can see some wild restarts here.
Especially when we have a lot of cars up there that's one lap down trying to get their lap back.
It's all about timing here. You start way back over coming out of turn 3, and the guys way in the back get a jump. Of course, you got to pass to the right, but...
Were they 4 wide there? Probably.
It'll work till they get to turn 2. It better be about 1.5 too wide when they get there.
You got to tippy toe across there when there's somebody on the outside of you. I can tell you that.
You could feel Dale Jarrett just hitting the bump there as he went over the tunnel.
And we've been watching all week. They enter that corner at over 180 miles per hour. Here I'm having to really play with that throttle off that long sweeping turn 3.
You know, we heard Vickers' audio, and I thought he was being pretty optimistic that he might be able to get up there and mess with the 48 car.
See Terry Labonte right there, the 5 car. Remember, he was one of the first lead lap cars that came to pit road. Now, all he did do was put fuel in just to keep that thing full of fuel.
22 gallons of fuel here is like gold.
Half a gallon of fuel here is like gold.
I'm telling you, keep me full of fuel.
Labonte goes past Casey Mears, the 10th place car, and the last of those that did not pit under this caution. Now that caution lasted 6 laps. Let's watch this thread the needle move.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through.
You do know I'm here, don't you?
Yeah. Could I have a little more room, please?
I just don't think that hole is quite big enough.
The problem is it's getting smaller.
These guys are battling for the 18th position.
What's that? The object in your mirror is closer than they look?
DW, you being one of those front fenders here, you're done.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
There are no outside mirrors on these cars because if they started with them, they wouldn't have many of them after lap 1.
I just thought it's 22 gallons is like gold. 23 gallons like the gold mine.
Got second place. Second. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. You heard Brian Vickers talk about getting Jimmy Johnson loose. Looks like he got loose over there in the tunnel turn 2.
Lesson learned, perhaps.
But I'm pretty impressed with this run by Brian Vickers. We've been talking about it this entire race, making his first Nextel Cup start here at Pocono. Tough, tough place.
Good day for the Hendrick cars. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers, 1, 2, 3, and their teammate Terry Labonte, 10th and coming.
You know, we've been trying to make note to all of our fans out there who Kasey Kahne is. You know, you look at Brian Vickers 2 years ago, he was in the Busch Series driving his own car, somewhat struggling, and then Rick Hendrick picks him up, puts him in that 5 Busch car last year. He wins the championship, and here he is running pretty consistently in the top 5 at Nextel Cup.
3 long straightaways and 3 funnels.
These guys here are working on each other pretty hard. And of course, you saw the 17 get up. You get out wide there, you get to pushing, you got to get out of the throttle. The guy on the inside has got the advantage. And he can usually hold it across the short chute if he gets a good run.
Lap cars will figure into the mix here.
The thing about this place is when you can get back in the throttle, particularly over in turns 1 and 2, or in turns 2 and 3, you can really, really make up some time on the guy in front of you.
DW, I believe Robbie Loomis in that group, they've got Jeff Gordon in that 24 car. They have him dialed in. He's up there right now battling for the lead with his teammate, the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson. His car really gets good on long runs. Matt Yoder.
Back on lap 29, Larry Mack, Jeff was saying he needed grip on both ends of the race car, the front and the rear. Now, they made a track bar and air pressure adjustment on that first stop. Last stop, they pulled a spring rubber out of the right rear. They still have one more in there for another adjustment if they need it, but Jeff felt like that they were desperately in trouble. The car was loose and just getting looser, so they've made a number of adjustments trying to tighten up that race car, and it is coming to them very nicely.
Now, what they do with those spring rubbers, they're like a donut, and they just slice them up into thirds or fourths or whatever, and they can ease a piece out every now and then to just keep up with track conditions.
For the lead, Jeff Gordon under Jimmy Johnson, gives Gordon plenty of room. Lead change.
Well, if that was your boss.
Yeah, your mentor.
Your mentor.
Your part car owner. Oh, Joe Nemechek.
That's tire smoke, isn't it? Looks like he got into some of that left front.
Clear low. Tire rub there.
Tire rub.
You heard his spotter tell him he had a tire rub. He's back in the 20th position.
Clear.
Holy cow. Wow. Looks like he just fell down on the left front.
You can almost see the left front fender, I think, bent in just a little bit.
A little bit of it there.
You know what, Larry? I'm not so sure the tire didn't grab a hold of that fender and pull it in there. The thing is so low on the left front.
And the last time that car was on pit road, they were working on the left front.
Yeah, something's going on there. The left front's way too low.
All clear. All right, get back after. Get by
Trying to look at the left front here. It looks normal height on the straightaway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think maybe if something is broke and drop the left front down.
Right behind his teammate there, Scott Riggs, who won yesterday's ARCA race.
Now that is weird. How did it fix itself?
Ryan Pemberton, he's watching the same video that we are. Now let's see if we've picked up from Ricky Rudd's car how that might have happened. Ryan, watch this. Oh yeah. Okay.
It's in the back of Jeff Burton in the 99 car.
And that old tough sidewall in that radial, maybe it pushed that fender out of its way.
Jeremy Mayfield in the Ray Evernham Dodge has caught Brian Vickers for third. They're about 2 seconds off of the lead.
Yeah, now we're talking. That 19 car, he was good in practice yesterday, and I expected great things out of him today, and Jeremy loved this racetrack.
And you know, DW, I did not hear him shift up that short chute in. We saw it yesterday in practice. You talked about it. As the race pace slows down, you don't turn as many RPMs. Now, I'm sure we'll see him shift here on the front stretch. He goes to 4th gear right there. And then we'll see him into turn 1, as we saw earlier with Rusty Wallace. He'll go back to 3rd gear. Now let's ride with him down the Long Pond Straight, which is the 2nd longest straightaway here, and let's see if he maybe actually shifts to high gear there. I anticipate that he probably will. High gear, and then when he gets to the tunnel turn, turn 2, back to 3rd gear, just maximizing those RPMs on every straightaway.
Now, Darrell, Mayfield shifts at the entrance to the corner. A lot of drivers shift down in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, well, you can, in 1 and 2, you shift in the middle. At least always did. Across these turns here, you need to do it before you get there.
Now, that time he did grab high gear, but only for a short period up that short chute right back to 3rd gear.
He's trying to catch Brian Vickers for 3rd place.
I know we have caution laps, but if he's shifting 6 times a lap, that's 1,200 shifts at this racetrack, 200 lap event.
That's why we call this Join a Roval.
You race it like a road course, but it's all left turns.
Shift many more times than that at Sonoma, where we'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Here's another one of our rookies, Scott Wimmer, in that 22 car. Right now, he's up in the 9th position, just like the other rookies making their first start here. He came up here and tested before he ever went on the racetrack. He got Mark Martin to take him around here in a rental car. Show me where you roll out of the throttle. Show me where you shift. Show me where the bumps are.
Matt?
That's due to a 2-decade-old friendship between owner Bill Davis and Mark Martin, both from Batesville. Now, Wimmer, a rookie, having a very solid run. His car was extremely tight everywhere earlier in the race, but crew chief Frank Stoddard has slowly worked on this race car, making it better and better. Air pressure adjustment on the right side, track bar adjustment. Remember back to 2002, Frank was working on the 99 and Jeff Burton. They were having a great run going here in 2002 before a cut tire ended their chances. Wimmer having a solid run in the 9th position.
Here are 5 of the 6 drivers who've never raced here before in Cup. P.J. Jones is the other, though he's not officially in the Rookie of the Year chase. 3rd place changed hands. Mayfield made the move on Brian Vickers and went through for 3rd.
And I believe this is a case of Jeremy Mayfield's car, the 19, getting a little better. I think Brian Vickers, the 25, is starting to lose the handle on his car just a little bit.
Plus, Jeremy's got to have he's got to have somewhat of a lower gear in his car, which will help him up off these turns as the race goes on with that shifting he's doing.
That's the reason he has to shift all 3 straightaways.
Neither of those drivers stopped during the caution flag at lap 60. There were 10 drivers who stayed out.
Tell you another car that, again, they rolled the dice a while ago. They were one of the cars that stayed out. Michael Waltrip in the 15 car, but he's had 3 consecutive top 10 finishes here of late. But I think what they have finally done, Darrell, they have found an aero balance that Michael likes. This is a brand new race car, untested, but it mirrors that car he ran so well with back at Charlotte.
Terry Labonte, look at this, he's still coming and taking no prisoners. He went right by that battle, made it 3 wide, just like he was on the highway.
You get a double toe.
Jeff Gordon, your leader, at 77 laps. "81 laps into this race, Kasey Kahne's Dodge started from the pole. Here are your Dodge front runners right now, led by former Pocono winner Jeremy Mayfield. He trails Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson by 4.3 seconds right now, as we're into a green flag run that may catch as many as 10 drivers on the short end. Now, we've seen sandwich wrappers, but haven't seen a beach ball on track lately. Nice work by one of the Nextel Cup officials, retrieving that from the inside front straightaway wall, taking it out of harm's way. That beach ball even had a sponsor's name written on it with a Sharpie.
Shameless.
Yes.
Just shameless.
Shameless commerce. The cars that did not stop under the last caution include leader Jeff Gordon, second place Jimmie Johnson, Jeremy Mayfield third, Brian Vickers fourth, Greg Biffle fifth, Ryan Newman, Michael Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, Scott Wimmer, and Casey Mears.
I'm definitely better in the center. Still a little bit tight action in the center, but a little bit loose laid off.
And what he's saying is when he's off the throttle at the slowest point of the corner, the car just don't want to turn. And when he picks the throttle up, you almost can see it right there. The back end wants to come around just a little bit.
Real tight through that tunnel turn.
You're going to get real tight through the tunnel turn. That's just what you fight here.
Listen to his voice, Darrell. He sounds bored. It's like, I'll pick up a gallon of milk, I'll get some bread, I'll be home in a little while.
Well, he's out there all by himself.
There's the gap down this long front straightaway, and this grandstand is packed with fans. I don't see an empty seat anywhere. Mark Martin, Scott Wimmer at 11th place, along with Rusty Wallace 10th. There's Rusty, Wimmer, Martin, and Mears.
Russell's moving on up. He's in the top 10 now.
And he's one of those cars that, while ago, elected to stay out and try to keep that track position. We see a battle right here between the guy that taught someone what he needed to know at that test, Mark Martin in the 6, Scott Wimmer in the 22. That's a battle for 11th position.
Now, Mark Martin did come in on the last caution, but he only took right side tires, so he got out quickly, and that's why he's up here racing amongst the cars that did not pit. The best of the cars that did pit, at the top of your screen, Tony Stewart, who is up to 9th. Take that back, just ahead of him is Terry Labonte, who also did pit. Labonte is 8th, Stewart is 9th.
But now the problem with those 10 cars there, yeah, I was just fixing to say he's one of the cars. The problem with those 10 cars that did not pit, we are to that window that these guys are having to make their scheduled green flag stops. Go to Matt.
Lap 85, Brian Vickers in, scheduled stop. You can see the wedge adjustment already completed on the right side. He said he was tight in the center and loose off. Wanted to work more on the tightness, DW. Like you mentioned earlier in the race, work more on the first thing he talks about is exactly what he wants to work on the most.
Based on the first set of green flag stops, I'd say Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson, they will not be far behind their teammate, Brian Vickers.
Jimmie Johnson just ran the fastest of every car on that last lap, so it's not like these cars are slowing down. The contrary, they lighten up the fuel load late in this run, and Darrell, they're still pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's 54. See, that's 54.8. That's a good 3 to 4 tenths quicker than they were running in practice yesterday, and that's due to the overcast and a little bit cooler conditions.
Jeff Hammond.
Guys, I continue to watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. and he continues to struggle with his race car. He's been saved twice by caution flags today, but if he don't get that car working a bit better, guys, he's going to wind up going a lap down, and it could put his lead in jeopardy as far as points is concerned. Steve Burns?
Hey, Jeff, just listening to Dale Earnhardt Jr., he told his team all we did with those last changes was buy a little time. We're very loose again, just like we were before the last stop.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, who's led over 2,000 miles at Pocono, more than any other driver, is on pit road for a scheduled stop. Matt?
A three-time winner. Gordon pulls to a stop. You heard him say earlier, the car a little free on exit, tight in the tunnel turn. Robbie Loomis, his crew chief, will try to fix that race car's handling by making a small air pressure adjustment. Jeff doesn't want to over-adjust. Service complete on the 24 car, 14.7 seconds.
That leaves 8 cars on track who have not stopped since the caution at lap 50. Now, they don't burn as much gas under the caution. The last caution went for 6 laps. So probably, what, 6 or 7 laps before they're due, Larry?
Yeah, you can figure 2 cautions per green lap here, but I anticipate those guys, they'll be to pit road here pretty shortly.
And they're all running in 12th place or better. So they hope they can make this stop and get back on track without losing a lap.
Well, one of the things we talk, it's a roval because you shift. The other thing that makes it like a road course is you can make pit stops here at peculiar times and they'll work to your advantage.
Jeff Gordon is missing a lug nut. He'll come back to pit road.
I see NASCAR right down there right now talking to Robbie Loomis and that crew.
Well, I saw one of his crew members laying on the ground there when he took off, probably the left front, and that's probably where the problem is. Johnny Hendrick right there overlooking he and Robbie Loomis. Johnny's Rick's brother.
And you know,
me? Let's come in, put a lug nut on there. Get a lug nut ready, guys. Stay calm.
And you know, 2 officials there in the discussion. NASCAR has increased the cadre of officials up and down pit road, where usually there are now an official to watch each end of every car, especially on green flag stops.
And since he was the leader of the race, he stayed on the lead lap. Right now he's back in 41 seconds behind his teammate Jimmie Johnson, but he'll definitely be a lap down once he comes to pit road, replaces that lug nut at 55 miles per hour. We just saw Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car.
You want me to come this time?
The 2 fellows who stand
tempo. Come on, let's get a lug on there.
to benefit are Terry Labonte and Tony Stewart, 15 seconds off the lead. Steve?
Half a round in the right rear is a chassis adjustment for Jeremy Mayfield, and they'll put some air in that right rear tire. Jeremy's saying his car is just a tick tight as Jeff Gordon heads down pit road. Let's go back to back.
Gordon comes to a stop. They're going to put a lug on that left rear, top it off of fuel.
He wasn't stopped for long, but going 55 down the straightaway when everyone else is coming to 200 miles an hour. That's what's costly.
But we're not even halfway of this race, and already we've seen 3 major teams have mistakes that had to do with lug nuts or pit road. We had Matt Kenseth with a loose lug nut. We have Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd that had a lug nut left off on a green flag stop. We're not even halfway.
And you can always, I mean, it's a team thing, but when the jack is dropped, the driver goes, and the jackman keys off of one of the tire changers, either front or rear. So he lets that car down. They'll have all the lug nuts on. The driver doesn't know that. He just takes off.
Gordon comes back on track, 7th in line, and passes Tony Stewart, so he's 6th in line, but he is now 1 lap down.
He's a lap down, and right now 17 seconds, and here
48.
comes Jimmie Johnson, the 48 car.
48 car on the binders comes to a stop. Track bar adjustment for Jimmie Johnson, a little free in turns 1 and 3 as Quick and McRae come around to the left front. Jack goes up. Shane Parsnell on the left rear, lugs on, he's down and away.
14.7 seconds for Jimmy.
And with where he's pitting, all he has to do now, look how long that pit road is make sure he maintains by his tachometer 55 miles per hour. He knows how many RPMs that should be.
And one reason they catch more and more of these things on pit road is there's an inspector in every pit. Used to an inspector about every 3 or 4 pits. Couldn't cover all the pit stops. Now you've got somebody looking over your shoulder all the time.
On the left-hand side of the screen, you see the guy on 5 hours sleep. He's leading the race right now, Greg Biffle in that 16 car. And I think he's coming to pit road. You saw him get real loose. It's because he turned it down. This is a scheduled stop for him.
Right there. Perfect, perfect. You got him, Doug.
But he got his 5 points in that newly painted Pennzoil car. It's the first time Biffle has ever led in a Cup race at Pocono.
He's pitting at the entire opposite end. He's a second pit from the exit of pit road.
Scott Wimmer's in as well, and Casey Mears. Steve?
And Greg Biffle heading down pit road. The intention of his crew, half a round out of the right rear. That's the chassis adjustment for Greg Biffle. Jackman Jeff Burkle comes around to the driver's side of the car. His wife will have a baby in the morning. He's inspired. Left side tires done. Biffle down pit road. And there's some trouble on the
I know what the trouble is. He's out of gas because he was one of the cars that pitted on 51. He's ran 40 laps. I think he's out of fuel possibly.
No, it sounds like it's running. Got transmission.
Got transmission problems. Ryan Newman in the 12 car, he was leading the race. He's the last of these cars to come to pit road besides Rusty Wallace, his teammate.
And he looks slow, Larry, like he's out of fuel.
He's had a little tire rub on the right front.
Yeah, did you notice that? There's right behind his right front tire.
Report me right away. 5, 4, 3, 2.
What he means by squirt me is I'm out of gas. The motor's not running. Squirt that ether in the cow to try to fire this thing back up.
Steve?
Like Ryan Newman's been saying, he's loose on the throttle in turns 1 and 2, but he's, other than that, his number 12 Dodge is in good shape. And looks like they're having a little bit of problem. He stalls the car on pit road, finally gets it refired.
Well, he was out of fuel and he was having a hard time getting it fired.
Boy, I thought Michael, he was really slow down there coming through the cut through, but I think he's going to coast on to pit road here.
And he's got an early slot, just the 4th pit stall, Darrell.
Yeah, well, they got work to do, so I don't think they're going to take him probably to the garage.
Now here's a surprise. Terry Labonte did stop under the last caution, but he's in.
This is a little bit early. I anticipate these guys will start pitting in the next 5 to 7 laps. So he's the first of those cars that actually topped off with fuel on that last caution.
And he was in position to take the lead. I'm not sure if Labonte actually led a lap there or not. He did. Matt?
The 15, Mike, was out of gas. They're trying to refire the race car. Lost a lot of time here on pit road, Michael Waltrip.
And Darrell, he withdrew from the luck bank. Picking that pit at the head end of pit road had to help him.
Oh, yeah.
Coasting in out of gas.
But it sounded like, you know, watching him try to get the thing going, it looked like he was having a transmission problem, but it's because he was out of fuel.
And even though we had cautions, he tried to run 40 laps. As we see Tony Stewart in the 20 car actually leading the race. He's getting all he can get getting on the pit road, and Rusty Wallace in the 2 follows him.
Dick Berggren.
The last time Tony Stewart pitted was on lap 60. He took fuel only. These tires are gone. He told the crew on the radio that he can't get through 2 of the 3 corners in the middle. The other one, he can't get off the corner. So he desperately needs new tires. And they are firing 4 at the Home Depot Chevrolet. He stayed out 1 more lap than Labonte to pick up the 5 additional bonus points he got for leading that lap. Steve.
Rusty Wallace in the 2 car on pit road. They've taken 1 pound of air out of that right rear tire. Rusty Wallace is away.
Jeff Green in as well in the Cheerios Dodge on the right of your screen. Big chassis adjustment on the right rear of that Petty Enterprise car. And we'll mention that in the Petty's hometown in Randleman, North Carolina, Thursday is the public grand opening and open house of the Victory Junction Gang Camp, 9 to 5 on Thursday. Hope to see a big crowd of folks out there to look it all over before the camp opens for business next weekend.
Yeah, Jeff Green's never had a top 20 here in 10 races. So this is not one of his best racetracks.
And we see on the left-hand side of the screen, Mark Martin, the 6 car, he is now the leader. But with all those guys that had stayed out earlier, now that they have pitted, Jeff Gordon is back on the lead lap. He's back in 26th position, about 47 seconds behind Mark Martin. So he is back on the lead lap, which is a good thing.
13 different drivers have led this race. That's only 3 shy of the record, and we're not quite to halfway.
We anticipate, well, that it looks like Mark Martin in the 6 car. He's coming to pit road now. This should start the green flag stop for those guys that pitted back on lap 61.
Elliott Sadler's also on pit road in the M&M Sport. So is Kurt Busch and Joe Nemechek.
And that will hand the lead to a man that's not led a lot of laps this year, Elliott Sadler's teammate, Dale Jarrett, in the 88 car.
There's Busch closest to the screen, Nemechek, and there's Sadler. As Mark Martin goes out.
These are scheduled green flag stops. Looks like Dale Jarrett in the 88 car. These guys are trying to lead at least one lap to get those 5 points. He comes to pit road, and that should hand the lead.
Something happened to Joe Nemechek, Larry. He tried to accelerate out of his pit. I don't know if he tore the gear out. There's fluid leaking from the right rear. I'm not sure if he'll get up to speed or not, Daryl.
You see, because of the overdrive transmission, where you've got that 4th gear position and it's overdrive, first gear is really high. It's not a normal first gear, and a lot of times you have trouble getting the cars out of the pits because of that.
Jarrett finished. Harvick done. Ward Burton is in. So is Kyle Petty, Jeffrey Bodine, Kenny Schrader on pit road. And this will pretty much put the whole field back together within about 8 or 10 laps of being on the same pit stop cycle.
Now we're hearing that Joe Nemechek, I'm sorry, in the 01 actually was stuck in 3rd gear like he has a transmission failure. But it looks like he may got it out, and he's back out there on the racetrack. We'll see if he has all his gears.
Well, you can run all day in 3rd gear here.
Yeah, that's high gear, basically.
Bobby Labonte brings the Interstate Chevy in. And Jamie McMurray right behind him. Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt Jr. all pitting. 2 laps to halfway. And again, these are scheduled stops.
And should we stay green, all these teams will have to make 2 more pit stops at least. And right now, that hands the lead to Matt Kenseth in the 17 car.
He is the 15th different driver to lead today. Steve?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, whatever you did on the last stop, undo it. So they're going to reverse their track bar and wedge adjustment on that 8 car. His car tight in and loose off. It came to a pretty sudden stop. He's just inside his pit box, but his service is done.
And here's the new leader, Kenseth, coming to pit lane.
And who that will hand the lead to is Kasey Kahne in the 9. But remember, we talked about it, Daryl. He was one of those cars that came in and topped off when they got 1 to go back on lap 65. He should be able to go 2 or 3 more laps. Few adjustments on the 17 car.
Now they do something interesting, that the tire changer, when he's done, he lifts his hand. The jackman just doesn't watch for the lugs going on. There is a visible cue by the tire changer that they're done to help the jackman know when to drop that jack.
Yeah, I think that's smart, because that jackman's watching both ends of the car there, front, rear, front, rear, front, rear. He knows that guy's done anyway.
You're good to go.
Kasey Kahne.
That's his turn signal. He's getting ready to turn in here, boys.
Telling those guys behind him, hey, I'm going to pit road for my pit stop. See him on pit road, Robbie Gordon in the 31, Dave Blaney in the 30, Scott Riggs in the 10. All them making their scheduled pit stops here at lap 100. We are halfway. Ricky Rudd as well.
And the halfway leader, Jimmie Johnson. We cycle right back around to the Lowe's Chevrolet leading the Pocono 500. Halfway time's good time to take a little break. This is NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox, presented by Subway.
Okay.
Fox, glad to have you with us. Nextel Cup Racing on Fox, presented by Subway. We're in Pocono, a vacation or honeymoon suite getaway. The race has been semi-sweet so far, Jeff Hammond, and Jimmie Johnson has led the most laps. By the way, the guys led the most laps 9 of the last 10 times here, has failed to win the race. Mechanical problems early, wear and tear.
Right there as far as Todd Bodine, along with Kevin LePage. This race, Dave Blaney driving for Richard Childers, but then Brendan Gaughan, his car erupts in smoke. Trouble in the 32 car for Ricky Craven, and then Michael Walton runs out of gas.
And then in turn 2, Ward Burton loose in front of Junior, spins and smokes, but an extraordinary save from Ward Burton. Jeff Gordon passing Jimmie Johnson in a car that Jeff co-owns, part of Hendrick Motorsports, and the success they've had, and then pit problems here for Jeff.
Yeah, for our leader right there. They didn't get the left rear lug nut on. He had to come back in and relinquish the lead. As you see right there, Robbie Loomis and John Hendrick discussed it in NASCAR, but it's been kind of one of those up and down days, but it's been a real strong day for Hendrick Motorsports. Jimmie Johnson leading, and the rookie, Ryan Vickers, running second.
The 20-year-old, we've had 15 different leaders. 16 is the record for this race. We've just passed the halfway point. And give us your observations at this point.
So far, it looks like it's another one of those runaways for Jimmie Johnson and Chad Knaus. The car's working really well. But again, real strong day for Hendrick Motorsports. If it's not Jimmie Johnson, it's Ryan Vickers or Jeff Gordon been leading this race, as well as Terry Labonte, their other teammate. He's running fifth.
Well, let's look at Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace side by side. Jeff pulling in front of Rusty.
Got a little close competition there, and the rookie Scott Wemmer, he's trying to dice it up with these two guys also, and they're all racing for position right there. And battle pass right now for Greg Biffle goes around Jeremy Mayfield.
That's for third place. You were mentioning Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports has won 8 Pocono races, and 3 of the 4 Hendrick drivers have actually led today. We showed you Jeff Gordon, and there's Greg Biffle.
And did you see Greg Biffle get loose off of that corner? I mean, he had a handful as he came up on that straightaway. I mean, he really had a handful, Chris.
And Greg Biffle, one of those guys who was doing double duty the Nashville race last night, which ended in the early morning hours, had to rush here to race in Pocono. Let's rejoin Mike, Larry, and Darrell.
106 laps, 107 we're running now, and we're just past halfway.
I couldn't help but get tickled when we saw Greg Biffle in that 16 car. Mike, we did the Busch race at Dover last Monday. We watched him run 175 laps off turn 4 that way and won the race.
He does that a lot. He loves to get that right rear quarter panel up against the wall. He does it all the time.
Let's go back and talk about our car right now that's running in the 26th position. Joe Nemechek in the 01 had a great qualifying run, led this race early. We saw the problem on pit road. What we're being told is right now he only has 3rd gear. And Darrell, that'll work around this racetrack. He just has to be careful with his RPMs right here on this front straightaway because he can't go to high gear. Right. He just kind of roll out of the throttle a little early.
That's kind of the way we used to race here, you know. You just kind of watch the tag. You got it up there to that maximum RPM. You feathered it down to the corner.
You can watch his RPMs down the Long Pond straightaway, and I've been watching his lap times. He's losing maybe 3 or 4 tenths a lap to the faster race cars.
Look at that thing, well over about 9,600.
And it probably will not be as much up this short chute. You can watch it right here because this is the shortest straightaway.
About 85 across there. 80. Ooh, wrong.
About 9,200 up the short chute.
It's got some gear laid up in that thing, I can tell you that.
Right here's where he really has to watch his RPMs down this long straightaway. But he is 1 lap down right now.
Back at 11th place, Rusty Wallace and Bobby Labonte have been in the chase all day. There are 25 cars on the lead lap. At lap 108, 92 to go. Lead changes, 15 different leaders, only 3 caution flags thus far, and they've been fairly brief. Only 14 laps total of caution today. So Jimmie Johnson out front of his Hendrick Motorsports teammate Brian Vickers, both in Chevrolets. The gap 12 seconds. The second caution flag of the day. Last week's winner, Mark Martin, big puff of smoke, Darrell, as he went down Long Pond toward turn 2.
Now he chose to run the current Ford engine in his car because he wanted it for more dependability. He felt more comfortable with that engine. He and one of the other cars, who is it, Larry?
Was it Kenseth?
Kenseth were running. No, it was Kurt Busch. Those 2 cars were running the current Ford engine. Everybody else had got the new one. Mark might be second guessing that decision.
And he was running in the top 10.
But he is going straight to the garage. Excuse me, it's the 4th caution of the day. As Martin goes to the garage, Greg Biffle had taken second from Brian Vickers. And as the caution came out, actually the fastest car on the racetrack was Bobby Labonte back in 10th.
But who I think this caution really benefits, one is Jimmie Johnson's teammate Jeff Gordon. This lets him catch up because of that mistake with the lug nut. He was already up to 9th. The other guy benefits, our points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was about to go a lap down again, and he catches a caution.
Tell you somebody else I think it helps. Kasey Kahne, he got his car a whole bunch better. He catches up, he might be a factor.
Feeling across the racetrack.
Engines are an issue, and transmissions as well. Here's Jeff Hammond at the Ford Cutaway car.
Guys, I'm down here at the cutaway engine and transmission. If you take a look in here, there's the gears, the 4 speeds that are used in the transmission. What's happened to the 01 car of Joe Nemechek? He's actually torn out 2nd gear. He got it into overdrive, as they were talking about earlier, which they call it in the 3rd gear position. And that's what he's riding around underneath this caution and everything, trying to finish this race. But over here, if you'll take a quick look, they're already ready. Just in case that transmission does fail, they've got it set up right in behind our hotel, a garage area with 4 jack stands as well as a spare transmission, so they can be ready to take that transmission out and put a brand new one in. Mike?
Thanks, Jeff. Caution flag number 4 at lap 112.
And I think what Joe actually did, Jeff, is he's actually got it. It's hung in 3rd gear, which is actually 1-to-1, which is what the gear is. And that way he can get around this racetrack much easier. If he was stuck in high gear, that'd be tough. It would really bog off the corners.
Yeah, what's going to kill him is making his pit stop.
And we see Joe Nemechek, who will get the free pass and come around and be back on the lead lap. That'll give us 25 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green.
And this caution here still would be very, very borderline of anybody making it on one more stop from here, because we still have 87 laps to go.
All right, pit road will be open this time by Jimmie Johnson, pit stall 1. Matt?
What a great last 5 races for Jimmie Johnson, a 4th, a 2nd, a 2nd, a 1st, trying to bounce back from that crash at Dover. They're slowly getting that race car better and better. A slight air pressure adjustment on the inner liner in one of the rear tires. They don't want to make too much of an aggressive adjustment because Jimmie feels like they're getting ever closer to where that car needs to be. Meanwhile, his teammate, Brian Vickers, in the center of your screen, already on the left side of the race car, he was loose on exit, made a track chassis and air pressure adjustment for Vickers. Nick?
Well, Darren Jarrett has just left his pit. He was in 5th position when he pitted. His best run of the year so far by far. Steve?
Jeremy Mayfield on pit road. The major concern on that race car, crew chief Kenny Francis saying, let's pull the sheet metal. We've got a little rub off that left front tire. Also, Greg Biffle stopped. They lowered the track bar half around to give him a little bit more grip.
Ryan Newman, quickest along the pit lane by about 6 seconds.
And I think what happened with Ryan Newman, with only 22 laps on those tires, a lot like Sterling Marlin earlier, I think he elected to just go with 2 right side tires. We know this race car likes being out in clean air. He shows it race after race.
So caution for the 4th time today. Here's Dale Jarrett's crew. Done and gone.
Well, this is not a Lawrence Welk flashback. These are the drivers on the bubble, familiar faces that may float away from the points championship. For example, coming in, Jamie McMurray, 31 points out from the 400 mark. You need to be in the top 10 or within 400. Dale Jarrett, 129 points back. This is a Visa Race Break with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers in the Hollywood Hotel, and you see that certain people like Brian Vickers, Greg Biffle, that are on the outside looking in right now. Dale Jarrett are in the top 5 as we speak.
Yeah, we see that right there, but the guy who just took a big hit and probably his bubble burst is Mark Martin after having a really strong finish at Dover, out early here at Pocono.
Familiar names like you saw, Sterling Marlin, certainly Dale Jarrett. So there, it's really for them a race to 400 to get within that area. The most a guy like Dale Jarrett could make up is maybe 140 points in a day like this. He has to do well and hope that the points leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., has a big fallback in the points, or at least a really poor day.
And so far he has struggled. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr., our point leader, and he's hoping that Dale will not kind of recover, give him an opportunity to climb back up into points and possibly not only get inside that 400-point window, but maybe claw his way back up in the top 10.
Another guy needed to claw his way, Joe Nemechek in the 01 car, having problems in the pits and needing a friendly push.
Yeah, you see here, they have a problem with the transmission. Ryan Pemberton, the crew chief, said, I need the 7 best guys I can get this car going. What they're trying to do is to keep him from burning the clutch out, and they're pushing the car down pit road to get it going as far as momentum, but they had too many men over the wall, so they'll have to come back in one more time.
Yeah, and the Army's celebrating its 229th birthday tomorrow. Jeremy Mayfield in the pits.
Things get a little bit closer. If you notice also, Jeremy's coming in, bam, he actually hits the tire carrier on the right front of the guy behind him, who happened to be the 16 of Greg Biffle.
And Mayfield, another guy trying to get, he's within 66 points of that 400 barrier. Let's check in with Steve Burns.
Chris, that led to a very heated exchange down here in the pit boxes. Doug Richert, the crew chief on the 16, ran immediately after the stop over to Kenny Francis, the crew chief on the 19. He was not happy. Richert was feeling that Mayfield had cut through their box. He hit the tire carrier, Jeff Silver. And again, these teams exchanging words, but they want, Kenny Francis said, put it behind us. Let's go racing. Mike Joy.
Yeah, Mike, if you look at that, Jeremy cut through their pit box. I mean, he was really cutting about 1/4 of their pit box off trying to get in there, and that's how come he hit the tire carrier. If you watch, see here, here comes Jeremy, and there he is. He's getting in their pit box right there. The tire carrier is not out of line. Just that Jeremy cut that corner.
But Mike, you and I were talking earlier, even though it's hard to get blocked in these pit boxes, that's one advantage of not having someone in front of you or behind you, is that right there happening.
Big loser on pit stops. Tony Stewart came in 7th, came out in a cluster of cars, could not accelerate, and so came off pit road 16. Biffle all but pushing Ryan Newman on the restart.
He is pushing him because he knows that 48 car is right behind him.
Just remember, Ryan Newman only has those 2 right side tires. Everyone behind him has 4 fresh tires.
Look at that 48 car drop to the inside. Makes a move around Biffle. And boogity, boogity, boogity down the back.
See Michael Walter right there in the 15 car. Now he's out there 1 lap down. Remember, ran out of fuel early. He's just trying to become the first car a lap down. Maybe catch a caution, get a free pass.
Ooh, boy. He and Biffle got close right there.
Still there by a nose. Watch the 88. 3 wide. You're in the middle.
And here comes Dale Jarrett, who is also.
Tell you what, this is as good as Dale Jarrett as we ride with him here down the front stretch. That 88 car, I think this is the best he has looked all year long. Brand new car. They came up here and tested. Looking real good here, Dick Berger.
Yeah, they sure are. This is the first intermediate house car that they have ever had. Mike Ford, the crew chief, said the car is a bit more responsive than anything that they have had here before. They haven't even touched that thing since happy hour. And for the Dale Jarrett fans, he has been looking for a top 5 since he won Rockingham in February last year. Not a top 5 since then. But if he's going to get one, this is the place to get it. Other than last year, Jarrett had 6 top 3s in a row here at Pocono. He is exceptionally good at this speedway and looking very, very strong right now.
Well, I think they got a nice package here with the in-house car and the new Ford engine. I know the engine guys have got to be sitting there holding their breath. If this thing makes it to the end, these engines do, I think they found the power they've been looking for, because those cars are fast on the straightaway.
They better look in their rearview mirror, though. Look at Jeff Gordon right there. You see it 2 3/4 seconds behind our leader. Remember, trying to overcome that mistake of the lug nut under green. Now he's back up there battling for the 5th position with Greg Biffle.
Sri Lavani right there behind him as well, and Jeremy Mayfield right behind him. So, and Casey Kane right back there behind him. So this tightened up at the front.
At Casey Kane, those guys have made a nice recovery. Daryl, I think 2 things. I think they've made their car better. I think he spent the first 100 laps trying to figure out how to race people.
Whoa,
here.
Smoke. I think we see smoke out of the 18.
Scott Wimmer got in it in the 22 car.
Must be some oil over there.
Caution is out.
Oh,
Sterling Marlin's in it, the 40 car.
Oh, that's a shame.
And a tough break for Wimmer, who had a strong day going here. He was a lead lap car.
Sterling did too. He led there for a little while. And